Hello and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire in Fontus and Aliens. We're at the end of round 156 here. We are playing, I think, technically Mayhem mode. In fact, I can probably see that if I go up and look at the version here. Oh no, this is at least going to tell me the difficulty. We're playing on hard difficulty. I have progressed, at least in my personal skill level, that it is comfortable playing on hard difficulty. If you're new to this game, I recommend probably playing on normal. Beginner is maybe a little easy, but hard here. Notably hard, I think, turns off all the income tax by default, so you start with 0% income tax. Forget if it's beginner or normal, that is 10%. It might be a beginner owner thing that's 10%. And then obviously it goes up in percentages of 10, so you have to actually pull up the taxation or the organization to raise it. Victory-wise, I did do a little bit of math before we started the stream here today. Where the victory score accounted for is 85%. So the majors on this map own about 85% of the victory score. This means even if we were to pick up everything not owned by a major, we would be short from victory. We'd be at 41%, 41.2%. We need to get to 50% to win. This means to win the game, we will either have to make a victory pact with someone or conquer other people's stuff. We've, in previous parts, worked out that no one wants to make a victory pact. So we will have to fight people. To win this, we will have to fight people. Becker and Nebel are the two off farthest in advance, so they're probably the ones we're going to need to fight. To be fair. Part of this run we've been struggling with is Ballnecks. And we're also starting to struggle a little bit with overhiring people. Capital's a little over-leveraged, a little less over-leveraged in other locations, although those are locations we probably want to continue growing. Could probably get a few more workers here, although for the problems we're having, which is a logistical base, the hiring here would not necessarily make that better. Could do that and might not necessarily do that. And then we've actually got a lot of spare people. We have a lot of people on this map. On other continents. So in fact, our largest cities are not on our main continent. 3 largest cities are on a different continent from our main. Which is part of the reason we're having logistical issues, because we're having to literally ship stuff overseas. And we're struggling a little bit with that. And yeah. This is an interesting game, at least as it is as it stands. And yeah, so suppose that's not really anything I need to do this turn unless I'm missing something. We'll do a quick check to make sure none of the mines are empty. We're getting close on one of the metal mines. And yeah, I'm a little concerned about how little oil we're getting coming in, although that's because... Oh no, that's metal. A little concerned with the amount of metal coming in. Although that's because we're doing construction, right? We're doing... rail stations in particular are pretty expensive. We've got a rail station at Moonslope that we're building, Adams Range that we're building a truck station at Moonslope. We might need to start, and this is one way to get around the bottleneck I'm running into on the capital location. Might need to start going from a centralized train station, which is currently what we're running. This is very good for taking advantage of the sort of exponential growth in maglev points to a dedicated per port system. As you notice, the bottleneck here is coming in, well, in this case, it's coming out of a port. Previously, we had a bottleneck in here where it was going into a port. We'll see how that goes. Actually, the supply situation looks a little bit better this turn than it has in previous turns, although we are still having bottlenecking issues, well, associated with logistics in and out of the ports. So the one over here has actually fixed itself. We moved it to the other side, right? Yeah. That's something we're going to have to keep track of over the next couple turns. So unless there's a particular card we want to play, I think we're just waiting for our landing to go in. Yeah, so let me go ahead and cycle the turn here. And I'll discuss a little bit of announcement-wise as we're rolling over the turn here. Obviously, this has been an ongoing series. I know one of one of the Twitch chatters and their Redditor on the Redditor as well. Oh. One of the Twitch chatters is saying, network is lagging right now, lol. Your channel has a unique name, and I love your content. Joining next stream with friends. And you want me to add you on Discord? So my Discord is the same as the YouTube name. It's WillCole100. So if you want to add me, you can try doing that. I don't add random Twitch chatters. Partially because the Discord by default has a spam filter on it. So if you're a known spammer, then it won't work. But if you're not, then it should work. But yeah. And yeah, my network may be lagging, so that's the thing that is different between the YouTube version and the streamed version. The streamed version runs and whatever the local internet can supply, and then YouTube runs obviously is from a local recording, so it'll be 60 frames per second, although compressed to the 1080p for upload to YouTube. But yeah, one of the Redditors was having problems with their game, their run. And I think they put comments in the Twitch chat in relation to that. What I'm going to try to do, if I've got some spare time tomorrow, is I'm going to... And they posted the game to Reddit. I'm going to go basically make a recording of how I'd go about fixing the problems they're having. So that'll get recorded tomorrow. Everything goes according to plan. And streamed tomorrow. So if you're watching later on Twitch and you want to see me troubleshoot someone's save... there'll be a random pop-up stream related to that. So we're back around to us. We're on round 157 here. We had no fighting over the intern. We have 7 decisions winning us. Roaming Thieves. Discover the new model types. We got the Quad MG discovered. And the civil delegation. You want a subsidy? I'm going to just say no.
Sir, yes, sir.
You want enforcement right risen? I do as well.
Roger that.
Roaming Thieves, so we'll give the support to mitigate that. Was successful. MTH expansion. Corals will buff the opinion of the current elder. Diplo decision. They demand the release of a spy. We'd probably prefer heart over mind, so we'll go with that option. And then we're being blackmailed. This is heart all the way. Yeah, which one? Becker? Becker is probably... Well, it's probably worth just accepting here. Although, do I need to give them money? This isn't, it's not Nebel. We'll just say no.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, so their opinion's starting to get a bit low. Although we don't share a border with them anymore, so they're unlikely, I think, to just randomly invade. Likewise, we do have our sea route now functional over here, so we can go ahead and ship our personnel over. So, unit selection for this. Okay, so it looks like we'll be able to get about 3 across, which is good enough for the initial landing here. And this is to establish a land border with the Xenos. We've got their opinion up to 100%. So there's a decent chance they will agree to a peace treaty. But they have to initiate it, and they only can initiate it if you're adjacent to them. Which is why we are getting adjacency with them. So you can see 100% opinion with them. And there's a little more logistics than that, but it's not really going to work. Well, we worked it out. It's not going to be enough for another load to come across. So, Maritime Trading House, we're going to do a makeshift port. Gotta facilitate more loading, unloading at that location. When that comes online. And we're getting some bottlenecking in here. We're getting bottlenecking on this route as well. Our port capacity is technically up to 6,000 points on that end. And... okay, it's about 3,000 points on this end. So this end would be the end that we bottlenecked on if we were to try to do something with it. Apparently not bottlenecked otherwise on the island. So that's good to see as far as shipping is concerned. Has the No, we haven't got the infantry across yet. And we'll continue to spread our guys out to cover the coast. I don't necessarily think we have enough to cover the full coast, but at least down in the areas where we've got colonists and stuff, that we probably want that covered. I'll turn the bomb mic off. It is rail over here, and it is sea over here. Both of those are shipping to the same island, so one helps the other. And we're 3 turns left on the rail. And it's just the... I thought we were improving the road as well. Oh, the road's the other end. And the road is actually done the other end as well. Okay. So we got a truck station at Moon, and we got a rail station at Adam. And then we probably will want to expand this port as well. I probably, for the construction, want 6,000 workers available, so we'll wait another turn for that. Okay. Don't think the city card's there we want to play. We will go ahead and play an efficiency drive. Get some more credits, keep us above 10,000. Find 10,000 tends to be a appropriate stable point for that. And yeah, otherwise I think we're good to cycle the turn. Oil, I think, is basically growing up with the capacity to actually store it. Not necessarily making that much more than we're making, or not necessarily storing much more than we're making, so we have to be a little bit careful of that. I could definitely run low on oil. And yeah, a lot of our mines, well, a lot of the mines when they run out are empty. The oil is not the same. The oil, we do have the ability to replace or expand, although those will take longer to run out, I think. This. No new expected discoveries. And yeah, I don't think the victory state has really changed anything. Go ahead and select the turn. We've got that expansion going on. We have at this point driven everything back into the sea, although we haven't dealt with all the wildlife, right? It's just been driven into the sea, so it'll pop up from time to time to cause problems. Okay. But yeah, as far as this run is concerned, I think we're in a good place to win, although we've got the slog of naval invasions ahead of us, so I need to sort out the logistics between our 2 primary islands. We got a 3rd island that we're, I suppose, continents. The two primary continents. We got a 3rd continent we're trying to expand to. Depending on how that goes and logistics goes, we'll either start a land war with neighbors on those continents. In fact, we may be dragged into one, regardless of whether one started or not. And or we'll start a war to naval invade a different island, different continent. I suppose one way to start is there is a arachnid minor nation. They're basically hostile to everyone. We could potentially just land them. That would be a bit of a hot landing if we needed to do that. That would be one way to get onto a different continent. That'd probably be easier than trying to land a major. Okay, back around to us. It's round 158. We got 8 decisions. Dome breach. Marauder, so 3 bad events. Crisis of violence, everyone. We've completed the rocket engine. It looks like all our cards. This is something we're not going to modify, so we're just going to confirm. New demand. You want recon to go up? I'm going to still say no. We've got most of the world explored at this point. It's going to be hard to really find much more. Easily, at least.
Roger that.
So we immediately take an opinion with the Democratic Party and lose some democracy, which is a bit of a shame. You want us to be at war with Nebel. Honestly, unless I got out of my way, we might end up at war with Nebel. Just accidentally. Industry would be enforcement. So the toss-up here, I think, is between at war with Nebel and industry. Because I'm trying to be enforcement fist. As you can see, we're not necessarily doing a particularly great job at being fist. Apparently. How many industry levels do we have? 16, so that'd be 2 more. That's not necessarily very easy. How many turns? 160, 68. So 10 turns to build 2 industry assets. Can't really afford that. Because we don't have high-tech industry, which would be probably the next one we'll be building. Maybe metal soil filtration. So yeah, I think we're going to just say no to you, which means we'll agree to the war with that Nebel. I think that's going to happen accidentally one way or the other. And we got the 3 bad events, so we're just going to throw the political power at them to try to do our best to mitigate them.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Again, successful on all of them because we threw the political power at it. And then, yeah, we've got the make surf port, so deploy that. Mission accomplished. Next content. Here we are. My educated guess says that is where the alien is. Our shipping route is still pretty open, so we can do some strategic moving across. It's like we can get... No, in theory we can get 3 more across, so should we get the whole brigade across this time. What isn't across, get the rest across. Again, there's a decent chance we'll just get a good event with these guys. We're patient. I'm gonna throw a scene diplomat at them anyway.
Sir, yes, sir.
Just in case they take a little bit of umbrage of us taking territory. Part of the reason we're coming over here is we want to get access to the online over here and physical access to the 2 miners over here.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bunch to get them to the place where I think I can get that protector ship. This is modified. Doesn't say it's affected by mind or heart. I think it is though. And what's the odds we can get offer peace with those guys? Propose peace. Not 0.
Sir, yes, sir.
In fact, we did get peace. Okay. Also, there's an opportunity to try expanding over there. Shipping, we're solving the rail problem there. Part of this is because we've got the rail splitting here. So that would be one place where putting a dedicated rail hub here would help. And then there's actually the shipping on this one. That's why we got the second port over here, in theory, is to get the shipping to divert out and around and not run all through that one port. And there is a bottleneck. Oh, there's a bottleneck. But most of this is shipping goods. Some of these goods I think that we're shipping are literally shipping to be thrown away. We're throwing out 24,000 water a turn due to being at max storage. So the water here, I think it's going to the HQ just get thrown out. And they are working the food down, so there's more food shipping out than is being produced locally, so everything is fine. And so yeah, the stockpiles here are working their way down. When they finally do run out on a bunch of things, then hopefully we'll clear the shipping lines up a bit. We're producing 7,000 water there, 4.5 thousand water, 4.5 thousand water. So we got a lot of water that needs to get shipped that really we don't need. And that's kind of, I think, charging up the shipping lines as well, which isn't particularly great. Okay, I got enough colonists. We're gonna go ahead and expand this port. We'd like a port specifically that at least, well, most of our places we're getting enough logistic bonuses that we get about 50% more, right? So this at level 2 would provide enough to support a full 2,500 shipping route. This isn't the max size. The max size, I think, is 9,000. So we'll do the port expansion. That means this place now needs 6,000 more workers, while we waited to have 6,000 colonists.
Affirmative.
Apparently the place is still short workers. It says 6,000 workers. I feel like there's something wrong with the math if that's not the correct amount. Okay. Well, there are a few more workers, and we can mitigate it a little bit that way. That should have been enough. It'll probably be able to recruit 800 difference in one turn without costing too much to roll. Oh, and we're running oil short. More oil is going out than coming in. One workaround to that, and that's probably worth doing, is I have an oil well. Do I have a personal oil well? That's maybe a good question. Or is it all private? If it's all private, the answer is I develop an oil well. So that's my oil well. Okay. Let's upgrade that oil well. Fine. Oh, I can't upgrade that oil. That's the limit on the oil well while we have a level 2 town, so we need to shove more people into the city. Or I gotta expand to the next oil deposit. You know, I'll expand to the next oil deposit. This is only 1,000 workers. I'm not too worried about it being able to recruit 1,000 workers. So we'll accept the penalties there if it doesn't get the workers. Otherwise, construction is proceeding at speed. We finished the rail station in Moonslope. We're not currently having in-locale shipping issues at Moonslope. So that should be enough over there. We are having in-system shipping issues back on the main continent, on the rail there, although we are working on improving that rail station. I could go for the last level, and I might go for the last level on the truck station. Well, that's 6,000 more workers. Can probably recruit that in the capital. It wouldn't be too much of a problem. We'll give it a couple turns. What I might do is I might queue it up the moment we're done with construction of the rail. So instead of it firing the workers from the rail, I can assign them to the truck station, and then we'll bounce back and forth between the two. Let's grab a couple cabinet retreats.
Roger that. Roger that.
And a couple war games.
Roger that.
Some
Roger
opinion
that.
boosts. Fate card wise, I don't think I necessarily got any good fate cards I want to play. A couple leader ones. We got a high-tech vault. We may play the high-tech vault when we get high-tech manufacturing, which we haven't discovered yet. We can discover, but we haven't discovered. Then, do you want to move you off of logistical? We are definitely getting into the diminishing returns point where we're about 53% through. We're working on housing. Oh, housing is another way we can fix a bunch of our problems. And we got mining techniques. Do you want to do mining techniques over logistics? Not really. Yeah, we'll keep doing logistics. We'll take logistics up like 70%. Because our problems are logistics. Our problems are entirely logistics. If I can fix the logistics problems, we will be sweet. Let's take out the turn. So if everything goes according to plan, within the next couple turns, the aliens will reach out to us for a peace treaty, at which point we can start negotiating to have them join us, which will result in us gaining all the alien units as basically a militia. Or, I think functionally they technically work like Galactic Republic units, where they're not quite a militia, but they are, because they're not a militia associated with a zone in that situation. Like they're somewhere between militia where you can't add them to normal units, but they're not quite militia and they're not associated with the zone, so they don't reinforce. Should come around to us soon. And you can see the wildlife off the coast. One of these days it'll be good to get some fighter bombers and try to clear them up. Then we can garrison the coast. Round 159, we have 11 decisions. Marauders again, abductions, yep, so Crisis of Violence is still bouncing along. This is, I think, the upgrade to our machine guns. Now we've developed the Oob Mechanized Grenadiers. Turboprop engines, that's a good discovery. Unusual Companion. We'll let him keep his unusual companion.
Roger that.
You want the recon to go up again? I'm gonna sadly say no, because it's gonna get real hard at this point to find more hexes. We got recon actually on most of the hexes already.
Roger that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Research
sir.
the turboprop. I think I'll wait, because now that we're researching turbo, we'll wait to do medium aircraft until we've got the turbo. You know, we'll research quad. So, quad, charged Gauss, and heavy combat armor.
Received.
We don't have the logistics to operate those anywhere off the main continent, of course. But those can be quite destructive. Marauders, do what you can to mitigate it. Abductions, do what you can to mitigate
Roger
it.
that.
Oh. 11, almost 12,000 people lost. Ow. Bar fight. Sure.
Yes, sir.
New governor for the new zone. You make a decent new governor for the new zone.
Copy that.
Alien natives want an official peace treaty. We are agreeing to this.
Sir, yes, sir.
Scheduled a meeting with the aliens. I'm not going to organize the big ceremony to ask them to join us. I will do that in the next one. So ask them to help us learn their language a little bit better. And then to try to buff the probability we succeed on the next one, we will go full team deployment.
Sir, yes, sir.
And then we're still bottlenecking. We're still bottlenecking a little on the rail. We're not ready to fix the shipping. I think we have plenty of shipping going to the new locale, which is fair. And I've got some colonists. You did successfully hire up, so that's not a concern. Port proceeding at construction speed. Proceeding at speed, proceeding at speed. A little bit of struggle with the oil drill, but that's just going to delay it a turn. That'll be fine. In fact, you're about 700 workers short. We got the 700 workers. I'll just give you 1,000 workers and call it good.
Sir, yes, sir.
So we're oil negative, which is a concern if that were to continue, which is why we're building up the oil. I think that one drill is going to provide us more than a deficit, so that's fixed the problem. And part of this is we're expanding trucks and trucks and rail and stuff, and all that's consuming oil until we get to high speed. Guided's coming along, houses coming along. What's the rate of the housing coming along specifically? 22% a turn, so it actually should be done in 2 turns. And then we can try to start fixing things with housing, which is probably the best way to fix things right now. In fact, this is one way to get sort of migration away from these big cities, right? So these big cities, we're going to have logistical problems if we try to build a big industry in these places. But this is where all the people are. So if we can encourage migration away from them without absolutely pissing off the cities, that would be good. And housing is one way we're going to do that. So we're going to make it very, very nice for people to live in the capital, so people migrate from those cities to the capital, is the plan. And our other expands to some limited extent, right? We'd like these places to be, this place to be tier 3, this place to be tier 3, this place to be tier 3, this place to be tier 3. You get the picture. These bigger cities up here might be worth bringing up to, well, bring this one up to 4. This one already is 4. This was our big city before we had these cities over here to play around with. And we're still, I think, waiting for reinforcements here, although reinforcements are pretty far down on the shipping priority. And then offer protection. Can we do offer protection on you? Don't have enough reconnaissance. Let's send spy to get us that reconnaissance.
Aye, aye, sir.
And we know the other one we don't quite have enough as is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Sheldon one I think is supposed to give us 50, but we're hitting diminishing returns, so it'll probably give us like 40. So 275 versus 275, and that's the roll 100 on the D100. It would do it, but that's a little close to failure. Often when I'm making those rolls, I'm caring more about a critical failure, so we don't want to be negative. Want to be such that our success chance is like 50%, so the critical failure chance is 0, ideally. So let's cycle the turn. We got plans for the next turn. Oh, and I should start saving colonists up for building a truck station the far side of the new shipping route, and then following that up with enough to work the port. So I need to save the colonists up, unless I've got construction issues that I can solve by shipping colonists. And in a way, it's saving colonists up to solve construction issues that I can solve with colonists is why I need to save them up for. We need a truck station. If I got 2,000 colonists, I can ship 2,000 over to build the truck station. Then we'll save a few more to work the port when we nationalize the port, then ship them over, and so on. And that'll effectively become the center to the zone of the new, when we integrate the alien zone. of course, until we build it up, it'll be the aliens trying to do border control, which the aliens might not necessarily do the best of. We'll see how many aliens there are. Okay, here we are, round 160. We suffered no losses, no many kills, because we don't have any real fighting going on at the moment. We have 7 decisions. This is the last turn the crisis went, so hopefully those danger events will calm down. You want victory points to go up? I do as well. I'll hit accept, we may fail. Research focus, yeah, that's fair. Service, or Secret Service,
Aye,
balanced. Zone.
Yes, sir.
Democracy.
Aye, sir.
Mitigate as much as you can. This is the new zone, so we're going to do worker salary and recruit sign-up bonus. I'm not actually going to be recruiting anything here, but we're going to tell it that it can, or what it would be paying if it was. Allow emergency food. All units before regular supplying, because we're intercontinental here. And then confirm.
Copy that.
Schedule a meeting. We're going to go full on organize a big ceremony to ask them to join us.
Sir, yes, sir.
We organized a great feast and games. The aliens were impressed with the festivities. We rolled 153 versus 113. We managed to convince them. Hooray. So that means we inherit the aliens and all the alien territory. We can see partially the aliens had actually responded to us being on their border, using up their action points. So we're not going to get a lot of movement here. Try and display them out to defend their own borders. Because they, well, in a way they were defending their own borders, they're just defending it from us. So we might have a little problem with the non-lined up there, but it is what it is. These two zones should, given a turn, probably merge, because there's no city in that one, and there is in this one. Although the city's basically empty. And we're going to wait one more turn, and we're going to start building the truck station. Building the truck station costs 1,000. Although we want some for the workers as well. Although building the truck station only costs 1,000, I suppose
Copy that.
I can do that.
Copy that.
There we go. Oh, I guess it's assuming that we're gonna need the workers for the finished building. Okay. Already hiring up for workers to finish building. Construction should only take 1,000, but the construction or the workers post is higher than that. Yeah, you should finish up. That should fix the oil problem, so that's good. And then the rail station is finished, so we're gonna queue up. It's tempting to go for another rail. We're gonna go for the truck station instead, at the last level of the truck station. And again, this is for this mile here, and technically this stretch in here, although we're not having that problem with the shipping there. It's this mile at the moment for the shipping. And the big shipping route. The main shipping route. So you're running at speed. I think the loading is fine, the unloading is not. Yeah, the loading is fine, the unloading is not. Although I'm not going to worry about fixing the unloading right now because we're actually being bottlenecked by the rail, not by the loading. And then here we're unloading bottlenecked, but also we don't need that much shipping, so that's fine. We bought more shipping than we need so that we'd have it when we wanted it. Not worry about those running out. I could hypothetically And we might do this in 12 turns. We might rebuy this one, but as the 9,000 version. It's a way to get more shipping across. But then that'll almost certainly put the bottleneck in here. And we can see that the other majors are fighting each other. That appears to be a naval landing that did succeed at landing, although is probably being airstruck and all sorts of encirclements going on. It's one reason why we're not in a rush to be invading the other majors. We don't have... We know they have air power and we don't. I could be fielding air power, but I really need to fix the fact that we got people on one continent that need to be on the other continent first. And I don't think they're necessarily ahead of us in tech. So, while they're showing off air power, we technically could have air power, but we'd have problems trying to supply it. Because, again, we have people where we don't want to be making things because we don't have the shipping capacity to ship it home. And we've got all the shipping capacity we want in a place where we don't have the people. These are problems I think we can solve, they're just not solved. Okay, round 161. We had no combat losses, although we're definitely having problems with online. We have 8 decisions awaiting us. New metal deposit discovered. We're now in a time of learning. The quad machine gun is developed. We have completed housing. Another core discovery.
Yes,
Money, so
sir.
I'll say yes. Org,
Sir, yes, sir.
confirm, eco. We'll leave it mostly discovery focused for the moment. Tempted to go geosonics. If I really wanted to get an automation quicker, volcanic energy tapping would be the way to go. Yeah, we'll do volcanic energy tapping. I don't think we know any volcanoes on the map, so it's maybe a bit of a dead tech, other than its spread bonuses. So, well, no, we said we were going to not bother until we've got the turboprops.
Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Refugees at the border. We'll welcome them. This is the Lancaster. Oh no, this is the minor. Do I say no? That is fist. I'm actually on pro fist, so there is an argument just to say no. We'll say no.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's tempting to get the 5,000 people, but getting the opinion buff with them should actually buff offer protection. Yeah, that's a lot better. A little hard with them. That's actually within plausible. So let's try to shout Diplomat up and get that protection in.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Here we go. So now we could be rolling for unification with them. Not that we have the logistics for that yet. Interesting that it's cheaper to go through the swamp for whatever reason, but okay. So we need to put more... Oh, it shows that it's 100 workers to build, but apparently that's in addition to the upkeep cost. Okay. So it'll be delayed another turn. We'll throw 1,000 colonists
Copy
across to
that.
work it. Okay, so we got the guy encircled. Although, that guy probably doesn't care that he's encircled. We now have encircled. Yeah, so we'll try to get rid of that guy. That's a secure border, that's a secure border. Although, improve their relations more if we want to integrate them. And I suspect that trying to... Actually, adding these guys to the Emperor will screw up the logistics. Because of course it will. No bottlenecking yet. Although we are shipping stuff across that route, so the route's pretty heavily used. Rail. We completed the rail the previous turn, and the added logistics are not helping very much on that spot. I could, with traffic signs, redirect some of the rail, I suppose. Yeah, so it's receiving 4,270 rail points from the northwest, and then sending half and half right now. What's the initial... No, the current's what we're looking for. Yeah, so we've got like 5,000 points going that way. I don't necessarily need that much going that way. That's 5,000 surplus going that way, so let's throttle that a bit. Let's start by trying to throttle that by 60%. See if that helps shift stuff going in the right direction. If it does, what we'll see is the boat route will go from blue to black. Because I assume we're still going to be oversaturated on stuff to ship. We've got such a backlog that even though we're working the backlog down, we're not working it down that fast. And a lot of the backlog is water, right? So if we can actually catch up with the water, then we'll go down very rapidly. Oh, and we're losing water from the stockpile here because we're overstocked. Yeah, water is a problem. We got too much water. This is a wet world. We got water. This is kind of what we're experiencing. Oh, and we now have the housing. So the capital's happy, although I still probably want to build housing in the capital. How much does the housing cost? It's a lot to build, it's not a lot to operate. Okay. Although it does build pretty quick. It also consumes water, which is something we definitely need a usage of. So let's start with the social housing.
That, sir.
And if that doesn't suffer a time delay, we'll start the other one. The capital is definitely a place where we want to max that out. So we can encourage motion to the capital. Okay. And I think we cycle the turn. Although I probably do want another brigade. We'll send another brigade up. Raise a light infantry brigade for the expeditionary force. Oh, I still have some of those kicking out, so I haven't obsoleted it. Now, you don't need to run your logistic system exactly the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way I'm doing it to not have multiple SHQs, which is why I'm kind of having the problem with shipping the water over water. If you do one SHQ per continent, you wouldn't necessarily have the problems I'm having right now. You would have different problems, of course, but you wouldn't have the problems I'm having. The problem you'd probably then have is you have to manually ship things like bullets and stuff from your main to the expands. Manually. Whereas mine, it's handled automatically, but you run into the problem that I'm having to ship... I'm filling up the supply lines, shipping water back. And I think it's filling up water, shipping back. Because things that are normally shipped for free on land are not necessarily, I believe, shipped for free on water. Although it shipped more efficiently on water than it would be if it was on land and cost on land. So like shipping metal on land is... I believe it's 1 point of metal per point of logistics. It's 1 point of ammo per point of logistics. On water, I believe it is 10 to 1. Okay, we killed 200 infantry over the end turn. We got 5 decisions. It's around 162. Enter into time and learning, or still in the time of learning. Mechanized quad has been discovered. Nuclear plant has been discovered. That'll be tempting once we get some metal soil filtration going. Maybe wean ourselves off of petrol, or at least lower on petrol. You want us to take a candidate? We'll take a candidate. He may be retired very quickly, but we'll take him. Mechanized quad. Actually, we'll blueprint this first to make sure we've got the maneuverability to make it move. So we want that engine. Okay, we can make that work with full polymer. We'll do that.
Order received.
Roger that.
Diplo decision. Nebel is blackmailing us. We do have a demand to be at war with Nebel, so we're gonna tell them no.
Sir, yes, sir.
That not even affect their opinion? Wow. New commander for the 11th. One of these people is the new person, and the other one isn't. Although both of these are apparently decent for military command. You'd actually be pretty decent for covert ops. Well, hold on to you in case I decide I want to replace my spy.
Understood.
Take military command. The minimum port workers for level 2 is 2,500, so we want to save up about 3,000 colonists to get a port operating on over here. Well, to work the makeshift port when we make it no longer makeshift. Oh, I suppose we're getting green supply, and the bridge isn't helping as much as I was expecting to. crush that pocket.
Sir.
We managed to get away with taking
All
no
clear, sir.
alien losses. That's good. Aliens aren't replaceable. Although they don't need supplies, so I can go wandering off into the outskirts of other places without supplies. Ooh, I have another civil delegation.
Yes, sir.
Brings you up to 43, which probably isn't enough. Almost. Yep, I'll take a swing at it.
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Critical failure made them more angry. So I just undid all the work that we did with the civil delegation. Bit of a shame. And then you would be client state. Probably should have rolled that roll instead, but too late. But yeah, so the truck station here is now done. That'll start providing supplies on the next one, next turn, so then we can expand the road and ship more. Ship supplies deeper into the continent, so we can have the army units wander farther away. Time we can ship these guys over. We're only going to get 3 across, but that's the bulk of the brigade, to be fair. Okay, so the change that we did has shifted the strain, let's say, back to the shipping. So we've saturated shipping, although that presumably means we're shipping more. Yeah, presumably means we're shipping more. Although, it might just mean more water, which isn't necessarily what we want, but... yeah, so we need to save up colonists. How did our construction go? Did we have any delays doing up too many things? No. So social housing is done, port is done, truck station is done, truck station not delayed. Going to continue expanding that
Yes,
social
sir.
housing,
Roger that, sir.
and I'm going to begin building out worker apartments as well.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
We can start to see some migration, which is good. Although that means we're losing people from those places. Bellica and Bellevue, Bellica and... or Bell Hill. Okay, we've heard them not coming from Bell Hill. We'll have to basically... well, eventually we're basically going to go around to do the housing all the way on this continent, because we want it to come from the other continent. And it's internal migration on the continent, which is not what we want, but that's fine. It's also providing more happiness, or will provide more happiness. We also weren't getting the buff yet from the housing. The housing just finished. The housing will provide its actual effect next turn. Capital is level 4, so I could go all the way up to level 4 housing. We'll see if we need to go all the way up to level 4. Wouldn't be surprised if we don't. This also consumes water, and we're lousy with water. So it just means we're wasting a resource less. I might regret doing this, but we got a request to be at war with these guys.
Yes, sir.
Let's consider an insult at them. And yeah, the regret would be, can we hold the front here. Long enough to negotiate a peace. Who knows? The answer probably is no. In which case we'll have very fun, interesting times over there. In the meantime, I should be thinking about how I'm going to be expanding shipping. I need to save up the population to expand. Well, we got a port expansion in one place. Need a port expansion someplace else. I could probably pay to make that one bigger. In fact, let's get the maritime trading contract transport going for that.
Copy that.
That'll pop up next turn. We'll negotiate a 9k route. To make them happier and make it a little bit cheaper, we're going to throw some ships at them.
Copy that.
Roger that. Roger that.
And then cycle a turn. Okay, so we see a little bit of combat on one of the majors near us. Although I wonder what's attacking them. Well, that is actually their port for that continent. They're not native to that continent. Oh, I forgot to move the militia. I've got a militia somewhere to move a bunch of to help guard the coastline. Adams Range Imperium, round 153. Or no, 163. Not counting the turns correct there. 163. We got 6 decisions awaiting us. Still in that time of learning. We are now at war with Nebeltech. They've declared on us. Multiple people declared on us. Okay. If you get it, RPG is completed. Okay, so we're gonna be desperately trying to negotiate peace. They may have declared on us, but they apparently are not attacking. Which is a good thing, because apparently we're not getting good odds here. Okay, so you... So we're guaranteed to get that to succeed, although it is tempting to do the bigger one. We'll do the small one to start.
Yes, sir.
Got 5 with you. Same with Becker.
Sir, yes,
Not
sir.
necessarily down to fight everyone at the same time. Incident with discipline. We'll support the leader station because we like fist. Stress the need for more fist. Technically more production, but more fist. No, don't want gas. Radiation side. Cluster bombs. Suicide
Understood.
speeds.
Sir, yes, sir.
Give us some demands. Give
Sir,
us some
yes, sir.
demands. Transport contract meeting. This is our existing port. We want to transfer to there from our other existing port. It's a little tempting to actually use that one, but because that one's not being used for anything. But we'll keep that one open in case I need. just going through all the different options. That one. That's the one we want. And then 9k for 42 rounds.
Copy that.
Should allow us to ship more, or at least shift the problem to somewhere else in the logistic net. Okay. Get the aliens marching around. So I'm now at war with Neville, so I don't necessarily need to respect their border there. I'm a little worried we don't already have that hex, although the reconnaissance says there's nothing in it. Okay, the combat odds here are not too bad. They're probably pretty heavily tied up with Becker on their other side.
Copy that.
Payload optimization. Yeah, that wasn't super great. Payoff. Although it definitely could have been worse. Okay, we ship the next batch across. We should bring the rest of the brigade across. Given the fact that we now have a hot war on the border over there, I may be tempted to raise a third brigade. And what, it's 2,500, so I need to wait another turn to employ the docks. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to raise a third brigade. Ship across. Kind of hoping that the line holds up there. Anyway, we're basically moving these guys up over here. Try to help guard the coast. Or if they do start to break out from here, to form extra blocking detachments for the area over here. Because yeah, we're not too worried about the tundra up here. They do break out, and we have to try to do a stage withdrawal. We can do that. Okay, so that's still the bottleneck, although that's going to definitely increase. We'll see if that clears the bottleneck or not. And yeah, we're in the war that in theory we would need to do to win the game, right? So we need to fight either Becker or Neville to win the game. We're at war with both of them. We're just not ready for this war. Although maybe, at least in case of Becker could be worse. Becker was only just over here. We actually have the supplies for shipping over here, so that's not too concerning. Cycle that turn. Interesting the food's going down, although that might be that we're starting to reach the point where we're not shipping as much from the other continent. Which would just mean it's time to upgrade the either the dome farm or... Oh, and we have a food impact from having a worker shortage. And some construction got delayed. Okay, so they did attack. We're not holding, although they're not really breaking through yet. Oh, that's the penetration. Not super worrying yet. Although we may have some struggle trying to get those guys on the western side of the breakthrough out. That would be the concern right now, is can we not get our professional troops encircled? Okay, where the aliens are at least handling the bandits over here reasonably well. That's good to see. We killed 1,300 infantry over the intern at the cost of 1,800 of our own. It's round 164, and we have 7 decisions. I'm going to let this episode run a little bit longer. I do want to see the level of damage we took from that breakout. Our VP count's up. Why is our VP count up? Lost a leader in combat. Okay, that's maybe not a good sign. Discovered electrical engines. Did someone declare... No. That's surprising. Why is my VP count up when I'm losing territory? Although it's not up by very much, so maybe I shouldn't worry too much. The immediate concern that comes to mind when I'm losing territory, and the VP still going up, is that someone has somehow got to the bomb. I don't think anyone's got to the bomb. At least I hope not.
All clear, sir. Requesting backup.
Okay, we got the Marauders destroyed. Maybe not super optimal, but that's a fine start. Bottlenecking. Still have it there, which makes sense. And oh yeah, we're still bottlenecking with the 9K route. Okay. Yeah, definitely running the risk of having those guys encircled. Otherwise not too concerned.
Sir, yes, sir.
So a little bit more money at them, try to get back to peace a little bit quicker. If we can get these guys out of encirclement, we might just negotiate peace, because the problem we're having over here is that we don't actually have the logistics necessarily to solve our war needs. Not necessarily that I don't think we don't have the tech or whatever. I think we have what we need to win that fight, if we are adequately deployed to have that fight. So the bunkers up there just to reinforce the position a little bit. Hopefully don't need to do a break in. They're, in theory, running off of their supply lines as well, so they're going to have difficulty necessarily continuing. We can hold our road there. They should have difficulty continuing much further past that.
Yes, sir.
Order acknowledged.
Copy that. Yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Coming in for the 17th, or for the 7th and the 12th, so I need new commanders. Pronto.
Roger that.
One just died in action. We just rose a new command.
That. Yes.
Understood.
Okay. Yep, 43. We'll try to get another opinion buff with you before we go for a protection pact. Anyway, we're back our neighbor here. We still want to negotiate a peace with them as well. I'm a little less paranoid about making that one a fast peace.
Sir, yes, sir.
So we'll not throw quite so much money at them to get it over with.
Roger that.
And then colonist-wise, I've got enough colonists. I should be able to say you're nationalized. And be able to throw enough workers there to keep it working.
Copy that.
And then we should obviously continue shipping over more brigades. Oh, that's all I can ship for the turn. Okay. And then Maritime Trading House. The new 9K route is being penalized both with loading and unloading, although more stuff is being shipped, presumably. Yeah, here we've got 11,000 and a half shipping requested, and about 50% of that is going, which is literally double what we were shipping before via the route, so that's an improvement. I may start saving up colonists for expanding this port. Well, both the ports eventually. All the ports. All the ports need to be expanded at some point. Construction-wise, do we have any delays? No, the delays have sorted themselves. The worker apartment 1 is complete. Oh no, there was a delay on the social housing. Although, it should complete next turn too. And then truck station's going at speed. Okay.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Trying to encourage migration. Good worker housing. Didn't worker housing over the... I have social housing 1. Social housing the... I thought you were the civilian, and then the apartments was the workers. Yeah, that's what that implies. Maybe that's backwards. Maybe we're getting that backwards and it's the other way around. Housing. 2% worker. Yeah, so apparently get this class to... We got it the wrong way around, I'm thinking. That's fine. So we got 2% of the workers housed. That should make it easier to keep the workers happy. Although they're 100% happiness. That should be a problem. Should not be a problem. Immigration in, migration out. Net in. This turn, at least. Well, actually, still net out. Because the workers quit. Okay. Hoffman saying hi, and then Hoffman's also saying, no social housing, please, no. Well, our people desire houses. The housing market in Adams Range is terrible, apparently. And yeah, this is partially to encourage migration back from the overseas territories. And Twitch chat saying, happily living in social housing, ... It really is a fantasy setting. Well, you see, you have to have benevolent, socialized housing. It doesn't necessarily exist in the real world. So yeah, let's go ahead and cycle the turn. We'll put the part break in. I've let this part go a little bit long for you two. We are going to try to record 4 parts tonight, so there'll be 3 more parts if you're watching on Twitch. I just really wanted to respond to our break-in there, the enemy breaking into our line there, before I brought this part to an end. Well, there goes the bunker. Yeah, the enemy is demonstrating their, at least, tactical superiority over us. Well, the fighting isn't all going our way, although nothing necessarily concerning. And we may have lost a brigade or 2 at this point, due to the encirclements by the time we negotiate peace. We will be returning next time on round 165. Over that end turn, we killed 7 infantry, 10 guns, 140 tanks, just to show you what's breaking through. We're killing 140 tanks and they're still breaking through. In exchange, we lost 1,700 infantry, 10 motorized, 10 tanks. I think those 10 tanks would have actually been the... Oh, no, actually, they're machine gun bunkers, so they would have been infantry. I'm not sure what those 10 tanks were. We lost 10 tanks somewhere. And we will have 4 decisions awaiting us when we get back. So if you're watching on YouTube, that will be tomorrow's episode. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to get up, take a quick stretch of the legs, because I have been streaming this, or recording this part for about 1 hour and 20. It's supposed to only be a 50-60 minute episode. Whoops. But we're going to take a break here, so I'm going to get a quick stretch of the legs, and then I will be back to record the next part. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.